There are some Chicago Bulls players who started the season off well and kind of teetered off. Some other Bulls players who started out a little rough and finished and got into the first half of the season before the break. They finished strong. So, on today's episode, I want to talk about the Chicago Bulls players that must have a strong second half of this season, not only for the sake of the Chicago Bulls, but for the sake of others around the league if the Chicago Bulls elect to move on from said players. Y'all know we gonna talk about it all and break it down, but obviously you already know. You gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shot Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in with me today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Man. It's been some good days off. Not having to sit there and watch Chicago Bulls basketball, but as a fan of the Chicago Bulls and a fan of basketball, I can't wait to get started to finish off this season. You're not even gonna lie to you. And I'll be quite frank with you. There are some players who I believe absolutely need to have a strong second half of this season just so they can prop themselves up as players for whatever role or whatever destination is going to be next for them. I believe some of these players that I'm mentioning, we're definitely going to talk about it. They're going to have a good chance of remaining a Chicago Bull if they go ahead and have a strong second half. The first guy that I'm going to say that he must have a strong second half to the season is Josh Giddey. This is Josh Giddey that was traded for Alex Caruso, pretty much just a player for player trade, no additional draft assets in there. Left myself, C Dub, and a lot of other Bulls fans around questioning what the hell were we doing when we executed this trade and didn't even get a first round pick back when OKC didn't even want him. They wanted him on the bench, and Alex Caruso, he can garner some assets. At least that's what we thought. The front office thought different, pushing Josh Giddey. And at the start of the season for Josh Giddey, there was some discussions about extending him. And the Bulls and Josh Giddey and his side, they couldn't come to terms. It was being reported that Josh Giddey wants an annual average of about 30 million per. And I don't think the Chicago Bulls offered Josh Giddey that. So both sides, they went on with the season, and now here we are. Josh Giddey, to keep it real with you, when he started this season, it was okay. But it was some games and I was like, hold on, bro, what we doing? But in the first 15 games of the season for Josh Giddey, it was 12.2 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on 41%, shooting from the field, 36% shooting from the three. You say, okay, you might not, you say those are decent averages. He's filling the box score up. He's shooting okay from the field, a little bit more better from the three if you're looking at that. But we look at the last 15 games before we got into the All-Star break. Josh Giddey improved himself. In the last 15 games, 13 points for show, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 47% shooting from the field, 39% shooting from the three. Now, let's keep it real. The volume of threes have not been going up from Josh Giddey, and I am totally fine with that. I don't need this young fella who's still trying to get better at shooting the three ball to go out there and chuck a bunch of threes up for the sake of just saying, I could take a three. No, we don't need that. I need more of a good stat line like that 13, 6, and 5 from 47% from the field and that three ball. You ain't got to take a high value of that. But if you're doing it in the flow of games, we can live with that when it comes from Josh Giddey. And I would say this second half of the season is very, very important for Josh Giddey simply because the bag is on the line. I made comments before saying, hey, Josh Giddey, you turned down that little deal that the Bulls gave you. I'm just saying, big dog, you don't want to be another Dennis Schroeder. I'm just saying, you don't want to be another Dennis Schroeder. But it looked like Josh Giddey might be trying to creep all the way back up to that 30 mil per year. And if you go ahead and finish this season, look, I'm not saying that the Chicago Bulls have to do it. I don't even necessarily know if the Chicago Bulls will do it. But if he goes out and he finished that second half strong, hey, yesterday's price ain't today's price. That's just how it goes in this game. You know what I'm saying? That can favor the organization. If a player goes out there and you make them an offer and they come out and they play worse than what you originally offered, you could probably get a little bit more discount. But for the player on that side, if you go ahead and say you don't want to give me the 30 mil, but I come out and do everything that you ask me of plus more, I can ask for more than 30 mil. So it's going to be interesting to see how both sides play this. And I'm honestly interested to see how Josh Giddey finish out the season for your Chicago Bulls. So we'll see. The next player that I'm saying that must have a second strong half is going to be Coby White. Now, on the season, you look at Coby White's stats and you say, okay, it's decent. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on 44% shooting from the field and 37% shooting from the three. You say Coby White, those are decent numbers. So y'all might ask me, Bobby, why are you looking at Coby White and saying he must have a strong second half of the season? Just lock in with me just for the next few minutes. But I will say Coby White, like me and C-Dub talked about on yesterday's episode, Coby White needs to be more consistent. And the reason I'm saying he needs to be more consistent is because those defenses are adjusting to him. And I would imagine that after his second half last year, after having that good first half of the season last year and how teams adjusted to him and they wanted to run him off the line, not let him get to his dominant hand as you wanted to drive. That's what teams are going to start coaching, get their guys up, especially when you start to grab attention. So my expectation was that Coby White should have went in, and I'm not saying he did or he didn't. I don't know. But the expectations for me should have been, hey, let's go ahead and let's adjust my game again. Let's add to the bag. Let's go ahead and bring something different. I have to be more prepared for all these different defensive looks that I'm going to take on. This is once a most improved player candidate. I really believe that he deserved it, but the NBA went elsewhere, so he doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was a moment for Coby White to put a chip on his shoulder and to say, the hell with y'all, I'm finna come drop 24 a night. That's just how I look at it. But that is not the case right now. So I think Coby White needs to have a strong second half just for the sake of him, just for the sake of him showing another step in growth throughout his basketball career. Now, we know that the rumblings are between, you know what I'm saying? We know that the deal that he's on, it's a favorable deal. And we know that the Chicago Bulls ain't going to be able to retain everybody that is going to be coming up on deals here shortly. So Coby White, he's not only auditioning for the Chicago Bulls per se, he's going ahead and auditioning for those others around the league so he can go get him a bag. He took you know what I'm saying? The deal that they gave him, team-friendly deal. Now it's time to go get the bigger bag. P. Will ain't do jack shit. And he got 90 mil. Kobe. That's all I'm saying. But the next player that goes right on hand in hand with Coby White, and that is Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo Dosunmu, 12.5 points on the season, 3 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 49% from the field. Oh my God, that's better than probably a couple centers around that's right around there. But 33% shooting from the three. Now I put Coby White and Ayo Dosunmu right next to each other for the simple fact that I don't believe the Chicago Bulls are going to be able to retain both of these guys. And I think that this second half of the season is going to help guys kind of separate themselves from who stays, who goes, or who's going to grab more attention around the league, things like that. So I think Ayo Dosunmu is going to be another one of those players who's going to have to compete this second half at a high level, and we're going to have to see some good things out of him. It's not all going to come with wins because this team is just not that good. I expect them to fall a little bit more as the season wanes on. To be honest with y'all, I don't know how many more games the Chicago Bulls win. Before this 4-game losing streak that we're currently on, C-Dub predicted that for the rest of the season, the Chicago Bulls will win 10 more games. They lost 4. I think they did give him the 1 win prior to the 4-game losing streak. So excuse me. He said that prior to the 4-game losing streak, we won that game. And then we went on a 4-game losing streak. So do you believe that the Chicago Bulls can win 9 more games out of the what? We played 55 games. So not out of the last 27 games? Do we think the Bulls can win 9 out of 27 games? We shall see. But back on to Ayo and Kobe. I think it's important for both of these guys to just go out there and put good film on play for them. We love these guys, but as we always say, sometimes we love players, but sometimes we got to move the hell on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what the love of Chicago, we do it to ourselves all the time. We know a player just not that good. We know a player is struggling to find his footing. In some way, somehow, somebody in Bulls Nation, somebody in Bears Nation, somebody in Chicago Sports Nation is going to find a reason to try to hang on to a guy. And that's why we still have P. Will. And that's why we just re-upped on P. Will. A guy that you can't even, a guy you're not even starting right now. A young guy that you're not even starting right now. I see if Pat Will was in his 30s, you know what I'm saying, on his last leg, and he did some shit for the Chicago Bulls or whatnot. But nah, bro, 90 mil coming off the bench, it's a bit questionable for me. But hey, we move on. The next player I'm gonna really say needs to have a strong second half is Montes Buzelis. In his last 10 games, Montes Buzelis is averaging 13 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 62% from the field. Now that's better than some sitters for sure, and 45% from the 3. Now let's keep it real. He did not start this season off well. A lot to do with him, a lot to do with his dumbass coach, but it is what it is. We keep on pushing, and we hope that this young player gets the opportunity that he deserves. This is the guy who should be prioritized moving forward for the Chicago Bulls. So I believe he needs to finish this second half of the season strong. I believe he has taken steps forward, and that's what you wanted to see. And I just hope that he utilizes that all-star weekend to create a hunger within himself to go out there and bust people ass on the basketball court. That's what I'm hoping that Montes Buzelis can see. I believe he has untapped superstar capabilities, but it has to be an effort behind him and with him that contains him. You know what I'm saying? It's all going to be predicated on him, his work ethic, how he comes in and affects the game, how Billy Donovan utilizes him, how Billy Donovan gives him a chance to make mistakes. See if the young guy can bounce back, bro. There is no reason in hell to where we got to watch and suffer through a catfish the second like performance from Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and we ain't even seen that much of Zach Collins. So I say Montes Buzelis, he got a great opportunity right in front of him so he can make sure that he's the starter starting from game 1 next season, and he never relinquish it until it's time to get the hell out of Dodge from playing basketball, hopefully. Hopefully, if the Bulls do right by Montes Buzelis. So we'll see. And the last player I'm going to say that must have a second strong half, yeah, I'm throwing that in. It's Zach Collins. And I know. A lot of people don't really want to talk about Zach Collins, but I'm saying Zach Collins got to have a strong second half of the season so the Bulls can be decisive in saying, getting the hell out the building, Nikola Vucevic. We don't want you here no more. We love your game, respectfully. But I feel like Nikola Vucevic shouldn't just be, I don't feel like he should be on this team. You ask me, Nikola Vucevic should just be sent home. That's how I look at it. Let him go ahead and live the vacation. It's cold as hell in Chicago right now. Let him go ahead and just say, man, start your vacation early, gang. Go ahead and do what you got to do. We're going to holler at you in the offseason when it's time to get you up out of here. Woo. I'm with that. So I think Zach Collins, if he gets an opportunity, he must have a strong second half of the season so the Chicago Bulls can find some help in the big category. And then when they go in that draft and go ahead and look at who they're going to look at, they don't necessarily have to go with, we must get a center. We must. You know what I'm saying? They can probably go best player available who can potentially help the team. Hopefully it's a point guard in Dylan Harper. That's all I'm saying. Because you need somebody to go out there and help facilitate. But what does that mean for Josh Giddey? Y'all stay tuned because we're going to have to definitely break that down. But Zach Collins, I think, deserves an opportunity just to show what he's made of. And yes, that's just me supporting my co-host C-Dub so we can get Nikola Vucevic out of here. And he support me too, I'm pretty sure. But, and I know to end the show, I know people are going to say, well, why is it not important for P. Will? How much faith y'all going to continue to put in this man? He signed here. Yeah, I don't think having a great second half is going to do anything. He's going to be here. I don't think it changes the perception of anything. He's going to be here. And I think with him re-upping on that deal, you can't even trade him until the start of the next season. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Check me on that. But yeah, there's no point. And then no Vooch should have a great second half. No, because teams know that Vooch is still a capable guy. And I don't think he need the last 27 games to show teams around the league that he can still shoot the three, give you rebounds, and, pass here and there. I don't think he necessarily need it. I think Nikola Vucevic deserves a vacation. Y'all heard me. And then no Lonzo Ball. Look, Lonzo Ball had a strong first half. I say he got to finish the second half. But to have made it this far, it's a win for him. It's a win for him. And I think those other guys previously mentioned, they hold precedence over the entire situation. Your Josh Giddey's, your Kobe White's, your Ayo, your Monty Buzelis, and me helping my co-host plot against Nikola Vucevic in a nice way. We just want to see you happy, big dog. We just want to see you happy. So we plotting for you in a nice way. We trying to get you to a good team because you deserve better. I don't think nobody would disagree with me when I say Nikola Vucevic should be on another team. So that's that. But that is it for me today, y'all. We appreciate y'all over here on Shy Bulls Podcast, man. Before y'all get up out of here, any feedback, comments, concerns, go ahead and drop them in that comment box below. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We appreciate y'all for all the continuous support. Make sure y'all always see red. Y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.